what's your threshold? And I don't mean that by your power number. I mean your threshold for the amount of training you like. If I do over 3 hours in a day, my days are right off. Like I'm doom scrolling on Instagram for the rest of the day and I can't do anything. If I do 2.5 hours, for some reason, I'm still kind of productive for the rest of the day. But anything more than three, the day is pointless. It's ruined.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good. Yeah, that's around that, like 3.5, 3.5 is when it starts. Depending on how early you leave in the morning, it starts getting a bit difficult to do other things. Like this first couple of weeks training that I do, the past 2 years or so has been, I'm not getting loads of hours in. It's almost like an ease back into riding. So I'm max doing 3-hour rides. Most of the time it's like 2 hours. So actually, I quite like this time of year because you have more time to do. You have more time and energy to do those things and kind of live normally. It's almost like an extension of off season. You kind of get to enjoy riding your bike, but not that much yet that it's a massive chore. Like the 25, 30-hour weeks aren't hitting yet, so it's quite a nice period.
It's disappointing though. I thought your threshold would go up when you're world tour. I thought you'd be like, no, I can do 6 hours and still be productive. I thought it was just because I'm shit.
It goes up. Maybe I think 4 hours is often I can do, but 5 hours you can't. I mean, you walk to the shops and that's enough. So it's kind of, yeah. But I think I think you just have to accept it. You just become more of you are quite a fairly useless human when you're a pro cyclist, but it means you're an amazing bike rider. The sacrifice is you become a better bike rider. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, you see, I don't have that part though. I'm just a useless human where I don't get the good bike rider part.
No, but you still get that sense of, it's like every day when if you keep riding consistently for a month, you notice how much better you feel on the bike. And that's, I think everyone can access that. Everyone can kind of, but you have to, weigh up. I am also going to not be able to do other things in my life if I just train full gas all the time.
Last time we chatted, we started talking, and as soon as we started talking, the video went dead. So the video still recorded, but it went dead. So I couldn't see you. And I'd only ever previously seen you before in your cycling kit with helmet on, glasses on, and everyone kind of looks the same. You can't tell who anyone is. So fast forward to Roller, and we're in the nightclub, and this dude comes up talking to me, and I have no idea who it is. And I'm like, the first 60 seconds, I'm like, who is this dude? And there's another lad there, Rory Townsend, a cyclist as well. And I'm like, have you any idea who this lad is? And he's like, how pissed are you? And I was like, I'm pretty pissed, but I actually don't know. I've never met this guy. And he's like, that's Fred Wright. And I was like, oh, balls. I only talked to him like 2 days ago.
We literally just
I want to apologize for that right now.
Oh, that was so funny. Yeah, it's good. It's nice. It's good. I prefer to have things like that rather than the other way around when you've got someone coming up to you and going, oh, like, do you know what I mean? It's humbling, It's like a humbling experience. I was humbled. You humbled me. You spend the whole kind of time of rouleur thinking, oh yeah, I'm everyone knows who I am. I'm a pro cyclist, like la 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 la. And then you go up to some guy that you think will know you at a nightclub, and he shuts you down. It's good. It keeps you level.
I'm glad I could pay a public service for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that happen to you much? Do you get I wrestle with this one. Obviously, I have a tiny amount of fame from the podcast compared to what you must have, but I wrestle where I obviously need people to tune into the podcast, and I love it. But at times you're in the coffee shop in your kit and you're just like, I just want to eat me scone. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, a little bit. I think the past couple of years I've sort of not. It's still at a nice point where I appreciate it, and I'm happy to have a photo with someone like in Richmond Park just the other day. You sort of people come and recognise you, but the difficult one with when you're going around Richmond Park, say, is that like there'll be people that know who you are and then try and race you or whatever. And I'm just doing a very strict like zone 2. I'm not gonna ride any harder. So I was going around Richmond Park the other day like just steady, like the same pace the whole way around. But that means that the guys that see me they'll overtake me on the hills, but I'm riding the same pace. I'm easily going to catch them on all the other segments. But for them, it feels like that they think I'm racing them, but I'm not. I'm just riding the same pace the whole way around. And so it was so funny the other day. They thought I was racing them, but I ended up saying to them, like, I'm not racing you. I'm just here. I'm just riding zone 2, mate.
But you know what? They go back to the pub and they tell their mates that story. It won't be the way it is. Like, I raced Fred Wright there. I dropped him. He's shy.
Yeah, but I don't mind that. I think that's good. I think that's part of this. But that's what's great about cycling is you can be so close to. You get so like football. You don't have it where you can speak to and interact with the pros that you see racing. I do find it's harder at things like Rouleur when I've got a mix of fans of cycling and also sort of friends, like family friends of people like that are in London that I want to speak to, and you kind of almost get stuck speaking to someone else when actually you'd rather have spoken to your family friend or whatever. So sometimes things like that Rouleur, it's great to do, but you couldn't do them all the time because it's socially quite a draining experience because you've got to be on top form for everyone, really.
If you enjoyed this little clip from the podcast, you can check out full episodes of the podcast on any podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can click up here for another video that I know you're going to love. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you next day.